everybody, it's JT Sports Match, you guys, with another video. This video I'm here with my Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Carolina Panthers, previewing prediction. I'm going to be previewing this matchup and giving my prediction for who will win this game. Now, before I begin, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Upload NFL videos and NFL content daily. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are coming off of a disappointing loss versus the 49ers, and the Carolina Panthers are coming off of a very close loss versus the Los Angeles Rams. So both of these teams are 0-1 to start the season. Both of these teams are looking to win this game and end up going 1-1 and trying to get their season back on the right track. Now, Tampa Bay versus the 49ers gave up 3 sacks, I believe. Jameis Winston was doing Jameis Winston-like things. New season, new coach, same Winston, same Jameis. He is my favorite player, one of my favorite players in the NFL. Had him on my fantasy team. And once again, he stunk it up. He had 3 interceptions, threw a pick 6 to Richard Sherman. And I mean, he was just doing the same thing he's been doing for the majority of his career, making dumb turnovers, forcing the ball in places where the ball shouldn't be thrown, just doing Jameis Winston-like things. And with Bruce Arians, we knew that this was going to be a very tough job. This is probably the toughest job that Bruce Arians has had, trying to resurrect Jameis Winston and trying to develop him, getting him going on the right track. This is a guy who's worked with guys like Ben Roethlisberger, Andrew Luck, and Peyton Manning. So this is a very challenging task for Bruce Arians, trying to improve the decision making of Jameis Winston. And then the Carolina Panthers coming off of a very close loss versus the Los Angeles Chargers. Christian McCaffrey had a very big day running the football and catching the ball as well. Turnovers really killed the Carolina Panthers in this game as well. I feel if they didn't really have those turnovers that they had, I think they probably would end up winning this game. So the Carolina Panthers have a very good front seven led by Jared McCoy. Then you got Luke Kuechly, one of the best middle linebackers in the NFL. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers off the line, can they block in this game and protect Jameis Winston? Because a big thing was that San Francisco was getting a very good amount of pass rush on this Tampa Bay Buccaneers off the line. And then when you take into the fact that Jameis Winston's decision making isn't really that good, and then you force him to make good decisions very fast, you get a game that Jameis Winston played last week. Turnover prone, 3 interceptions, threw a pick 6, man. So I'm just very disappointed in Jameis Winston's performance against the 49ers. And although the 49ers are improved, I thought that Jameis Winston could have played a lot better. Now, Jameis Winston and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the loss isn't really on him. I believe that he had a drop touchdown by, I believe it was Cameron Brate, who dropped a wide open touchdown as well. So, I mean, it was a lot of miscues on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on their side as well. Their defense played pretty solid. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo only had 166 passing yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. We actually saw Vernon Hargreaves make some plays in this game, had a very nice interception as well. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers secondary looks like it's starting to come along very well, faster than what I expected. Now, the Carolina Panthers, I mean, on the offensive side of the ball, it wasn't Cam Newton's best day. But, I mean, the Carolina Panthers did turn the ball over quite a bit in this game. So, I'm looking for these teams to both get on the right track. This is a Thursday night game. Both of these teams playing on a short week. And this game is going to be at Carolina. So, Carolina has the home field advantage in this game. So, looking at my keys to victory, what each of these teams is doing able to have a chance of winning this game. If you're the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you have to protect Jameis Winston. I mean, this is a very scary Carolina Panthers front seven. They can get after the quarterback, and they could completely dominate this game if Tampa isn't able to successfully protect Jameis Winston. And Jameis Winston, not only do you need to keep him from getting pressure, but you need to give him a lot more time to throw, because this is a guy whose decision-making isn't quite that good. So with Jameis Winston, you want to give him as much time as possible to make the best decisions and make the best throws possible, because Jameis Winston is just a turnover machine, man. It looks like he doesn't even really read defenses like that. It looks like he just throws the ball wherever sometimes. So if you're Jameis Winston in this game, you need solid protection from that offensive line, and that's going to be very easier said than done, because this is a very stout defensive line for the Carolina Panthers. One of the better defensive lines in the NFL, definitely top 5 when we look at defensive lines. So Jameis Winston needs to get some solid protection in this game. The next thing they need to do is, Jameis Winston has limited turnovers. I mean, this guy was a turnover turnover machine. I mean, this guy threw a pick six to Richard Sherman, threw 3 interceptions, man. And I know Tampa Bay had a couple of drops as well that kind of killed him as well. But if you're Jameis Winston, man, you gotta be smart. You gotta be smarter with the football. You're a franchise quarterback. I have no problem with you being aggressive, but I think Jameis Winston takes being aggressive to a whole new different level. I know that him being aggressive, he's going to force a couple of throws, maybe 2 or 3 throws that he's going to force in the covers or things like that. But Jameis Winston, my God, you have to play a lot better, man. This guy's you're just too aggressive, man. You're fumbling the football, you're turning the ball over. I mean, you've had 88 turnovers in your first couple of seasons in the NFL, man. So this guy has to be able to limit the turnovers and take care of the football, because you don't want to give the Carolina Panthers extra possessions, especially on a Thursday night game on a short week as well. So, I mean, if you're Jameis Winston, you have to be able to limit turnovers and protect the football, because you don't want to give the other team extra possessions and give them extra opportunities to score, because then not only are they going to be up big, but Jameis Winston, you're going to have to ask Tampa Bay to rely on you to end up winning the game and getting in shootouts and things like that. So if you're Tampa and you're Jameis Winston, you have to be able to limit the turnovers. And then the last thing they need to do is they need to be able to run the football. So Ronald Jones had a very productive day. I think he had 10 carries for like 70-something yards. So if Tampa is able to match that success that they had running the football last week and increase that production last week, they have a good chance of winning this game, because not only does run the football keep Carolina's offense, Christian McCaffrey, off the field, but it also limits how often you're going to have the ball in Jameis Winston's hands. And if you're trying to develop Jameis Winston, you don't want him throwing the ball 30, almost 40 times a game trying to win the game. You want to be able to get the ball. You want to keep the ball out of his hands and force Jameis Winston to only throw when needed, like on third downs and things like that. So if you're able to get this run game going, which they need to, because this is a very good team when it comes to getting after the quarterback and this very stout defensive line for the Carolina Panthers. So in able to help Jameis Winston out a little bit, you want to be able to rely on that running game. And Ronald Jones was very solid last week versus the 49ers. Like I said, I think he had like 10 carries for like 70-something yards. So if they're able to get the run game going, I think they have a very good chance of winning this game. Now, the next thing is for the Carolina Panthers is you need to force turnovers. So, if the Carolina Panthers and you're the defensive backs for the Carolina Panthers, you're licking your lips, you're licking your chops, because you know with Jameis Winston as the opposing team's quarterback, you know you're going to have opportunities to make plays, and you know you're going to have opportunities to improve your stats and get interceptions in this game. So, if you're Carolina, you have to be able to force turnovers in this game, force Jameis Winston to get the ball out fast, and force him to make fast decisions really quick, and force him to get turnovers and things like that. Jameis Winston, he's very aggressive. Probably the most aggressive quarterback I ever seen in all my 11 years watching the football. I mean, this guy is super aggressive, man. I mean, this guy just forces passes into tight windows and passes that don't need to be thrown, man. So, if you're Carolina, you need to be able to force turnovers and get the ball back to your offense and force Tampa Bay to play from behind. Now, if you get a big lead on Tampa and you ask Jameis Winston to come back and bring Tampa from behind, I mean, he can do it. But, I mean, if you're Tampa and you're Bruce Arians, you really don't want Jameis Winston throwing the ball 40 times a game, because he's going to turn the ball over quite a lot. So the next thing you need to do is they need to be able to get pressure on Jameis Winston. I mean, I touched on this a little bit earlier. Jameis Winston, he's not that good when it comes to making decisions with the football. So if you force Jameis Winston to get the ball out faster and force him to make decisions quicker, then you're going to have a good opportunity of getting turnovers and getting the ball on back to your offense. So if you're the Carolina Panthers, you want to force him to make turnovers, and the way by doing that is getting pressure on Jameis Winston. You got guys like Jared McCoy who can get after the quarterback, and you got a very good defensive line. Everybody on this defensive line is more than capable and able to get pressure on Jameis Winston. I'm not really that sold on Tampa Bay's offensive line as well. And the last thing they need to do is Cam Newton has to make plays in this game. Now, Cam Newton, although a couple of things weren't really his fault, I still felt there was a couple of things that he could have did in that LA Rams game that could have helped the Carolina Panthers win that game there. So if you're Cam Newton, you have to bounce back from that performance. I don't think it was bad, but it wasn't good neither. So if you're Cam Newton, you're looking to bounce back in this game versus Tampa in a defense that still isn't a little bit trying to find themselves, still trying to find their identity on the defensive side of the ball. So if you're Cam Newton, you're going to have a good opportunity to improve your stats and be able to get yourself going back on the right track this season. So the team that I'm going with to win this game, I'm going to go with the Carolina Panthers to win this game. And I just think that Jameis Winston, I mean, you can't trust Jameis in a game like this. It's a short week, and can you trust Jameis Winston to hold on to the football in a game like this? I mean, this is a divisional game, and this is a very important game, man. So I think that Carolina ends up winning this game. I'm going to say Carolina wins this game 28-24 is my final score prediction. I do think this game is going to be closer than what it was when Tampa played the 49ers, because I don't think Jameis Winston is going to be turning the ball over like how he did last week. I hope not, because I have him on my fantasy football team. So hopefully he's able to take better care of the football. But ultimately, I just think Carolina is a better team than what Tampa is, at least from what I saw last week. Both of these teams, they did end up losing, but I think Carolina looked at it a little bit more impressive in their loss versus what Tampa did in their loss versus the 49ers. So this is it for my Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Carolina Panthers preview and prediction. Let me know who you guys think is going to win this game down in the comment section down below. Also, make sure to like if you don't subscribe to the channel for more NFL videos and content. And thanks for watching.